Hello students, in this video I am going to teach about the continuation of user-defined methods. This is the third video of this lesson. Let's get into this lesson. Here already you learned about these all contents: introduction of user-defined methods, method definition, declaration of methods, method calling, actual and formal parameters, call by value and call by reference. In this video I am going to teach about pure and impure methods, static and non-static methods, and function overloading. Now let's see about pure and impure methods. First we will see what is pure methods. Pure methods does not modify the original state of objects. I read again. The pure method does not modify the original state of objects. The second one is it simply accesses the value from actual parameter to formal parameter. This is similar to call by value, which one already you learnt. Call by value used to access the values from actual parameter to formal parameter. The same process here. The third one is it does not have any side effects because it does not modify the original state of objects. That's why we don't have any side effects. The fourth one is it always returns a value with no changes in actual value. It will not do any changes in the actual value. It is also called as access methods. The another name of pure method is access method. So this is about pure methods. Now let's see the example for pure methods. See this function public static boolean after. Here boolean is the return type for the after function. I declare two arguments inside. One is time 1, time 2. Time is a class name, this one is object, so this is called object reference. I declare two object reference here. Now I am going to print the result in the return type boolean. The result also time 1 r is greater than time 2 dot r. The result is depending upon our input value. According to the input value, if this condition is true means it will show the first statement true, otherwise it will show the second statement false. So it will show the particular result true or false. So in this method it will not modify any argument, as well as it will not going to print any value here. Just it will show the result true or false according to the condition. So this type of function is called as pure functions. Now let's see about impure methods. Impure methods change the original state of an object. In pure methods it does not change the original state of an object, but in impure methods it changes the original state of an object. It may or may not return the value. It may or may not return the value. It is also known as mutator or modifier methods. This is about impure methods. See here, public static void increment. Increment is a function name, void is a return type of this function. I declare two arguments inside, time 1, double and seconds. Now the first one is a reference argument. Because I called the class name and object name, that's why it's called reference variable or object parameter. Here through to this object, time 1 is object, through to this object I'm going to do the calculation. Second plus is equal to seconds. It means second is equal to second plus seconds. For example, second is 60 means I gave the second value here is 40. So 60 here, 60 plus 40 is equal to 100. So the result of this first statement is 100. Now again here second minus is equal to 60.0. We can consider as second is equal to second minus 60.0. So here second value is 60 minus 60.0. So the result is what? 0.0. Now see here, this is called impure methods. Impure methods are also called modifier methods. On the other hand, change the state of arguments received. So it is impure methods as it is modifying the arguments received. But in the pure methods, as it is neither modifying arguments nor printing anything, but here it is modifying the arguments received. So this is the difference between pure and impure methods. Now let's see here the difference between pure and impure functions. The first one is pure functions are such functions which do not change the state of one passed as parameter. It do not change the state of one object. But here impure function are such functions which change the state of one object. And next one is it does not have any side effects. It does not have any side effects as the state of the object is not changed, rather only accessed. So this is called access methods. But here it does have side effects. As the state of the object is changed, and therefore one should be careful using it. So the another name of impure function is mutator or modifier function. So the first difference is it does not change the state of an object, but here it will change the state of one object. The next one is doesn't have any side effects, but in impure function does have the side effects. The pure function also known as access function, but impure function also known as mutator or modifier function. So this is the difference between pure and impure function. Now look into the next topic, static and non-static methods. Let's see what is static method and what is non-static method. First we will see about static method. In Java, a static method is a method that belongs to a class rather than an instance. Instance means object of a class. So the static method is a method that belongs to a class. But here in non-static method, a non-static method does not have the keyword static, but this type of method having the keyword static. This one, before the name of the method, it does not have any static keyword. A non-static method belongs to an object of the class, but static method it belongs to the class rather than the object. But this non-static method purely belongs to an object of the class, and you have to create an instance of the class to access it. So you must have to declare the object to access the non-static methods. Here the method is accessible to every instance of a class, but methods defined in an instance are only able to access by that member of a class. Here non-static method can access any static method and any static variable without creating an instance of a class, because all static methods and static variables belongs to a class. So no need object to call the static methods on or static variables. So non-static methods can access any static methods and any static variable without creating an instance of a class. The main difference between these two is it is belongs to the class rather than an object, but it purely belongs to an object. So this is about static and non-static methods. Now we can see the accessibility of static and non-static methods. The first one is non-static method or variable. The here static method or variable. The accessibility, the first one is within non-static method of same class. So this is accessed directly, this one also accessed directly. Within static method of same class, this is accessed with object reference, but this one accessed directly. Within non-static method of other class, it is accessed with object reference, but this one accessed with object reference. Both are accessed with object reference. Within static method of other class, here also both access with object reference. So this is the accessibility of non-static and static methods. Now let's see the difference between non-static and static methods. The first one is, these method never be preceded by static keyword. Static keyword will not come here when you declare the method, but these method always preceded by static keyword. These type of methods must have the static keyword. Memory is allocated multiple times whenever method is calling. In non-static method, the memory is allocated multiple times whenever method is calling, but here memory is allocated only once at the time of class loading, because non-static is accessible by only the instance or object, but static it's purely belongs to the class rather than the instance. So this is the main difference between non-static method and static method. Now look into the next topic, function overloading in Java. What is function overloading? The another name of function overloading is method overloading. Method overloading is a feature that allows a class to have more than one method having the same name if their argument lists are different. In one class all methods are having the same name but their argument lists are different. This is called as method overloading. It is similar to constructor overloading in Java that allows a class to have more than one constructor having the different argument list. Likewise here more than one method having the same name if their argument lists are different. So this is called function overloading. See one example here. I have one class, that is a same class. This same class having the three methods. These three methods name is same. The first method name is method, second also method, third one also method. The function names are same but the argument, this particular function having only one argument, this function having two arguments, this one having three arguments. So the more than one function having the same name but these arguments are different. So this is called method overloading. Now let's see example programs. See here, this is first method, this one second method, this one third method. The first method name is add. The first method name is add. This method has two arguments. The return type for this method is int, and the second method is also add and the return type of this method is int. This method having three arguments, and third one is also add. The return type is double. This one having two arguments. See here, these all the methods having the same name add, but it's differed by only its arguments. If I give the value add of 3, 5. So if I give the value 3, 5 means these values are accessed by the first method, because first method having the return type int, my values are integer type, so it is accessible by only the first method. But you see here add 3.8, 6.5, these all floating values, these floating values accessed by the third method, because third method return type is double. So according to the value we can access the values to the particular method. So this is called method overloading. See here, class cat is a class name. So one class, in the same class I have two methods, all two methods having the same name sound, but the first method having no argument, but the second method having only one argument. So same method name but different two programs are example for method overloading. Now I am showing the another example without method overloading and with method overloading. Here three functions are here. The first one is add, another one is add1, next one is add2. These three functions having the different name, the arguments also different. Here 2 argument, 3 argument, 4 argument. So this is called without method overloading. Now see here with method overloading, the first method, second method, third method, all these three methods having the same name add, but the arguments are different. 2 argument, 3 argument, 4 argument. So this is a difference between method without overloading, method with overloading. Now I am going to teach one example program for function overloading. This is a question. Write a class with a name volume using function overloading that computes the volume of a cube, a sphere and a cuboid. The volume of a cube is S into S into S, and the volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 into pi into R into R into R, and the volume of cuboid is L into B into H. See here, this is a program. Write a class with a name volume. See here, my class name is volume. I declared 3 variables as instance variable. The first one is VC. VC represents volume of cube. The initial value is 0. And second one is VS. It represents volume of sphere. The initial value is 0.0. This one return value is double. And VCU represents volume of cuboid. The initial value is 0. This one return type is int. Now I declared the first method. The method name is compute. The formula for volume of cube is S cube. So I need only one variable S. So I declared as an argument int S. I am doing the calculation in this place. VC is equal to S into S into S. Now I am printing the volume of cube, and the next method is same name compute. The argument is R. R represents radius. The formula of volume of sphere is 4 by 3 into pi into R cube. So I need only one variable, that is R. I declared as the argument. Now the formula is 4 by 3 into pi value is 22 by 7 into R into R into R. Now I am printing the volume of sphere. The next method also compute. It has 3 arguments L, B and H. The formula of volume of cuboid is L into B into H. So L represents length, B represents breadth and H represents height. The formula is L into B into H. I am printing the volume of cube here. Now I am declared the main method. The inside the main method I declare the object volume ob is equal to new volume. Through to object I'm going to call all the functions which one I declared in this class. First function is compute. It has only one argument, that is in integer argument, so I need to give integer value. The value is 5. The next one, return type is double, so I am giving the floating point value 4.5. And third method is cuboid. It has 3 arguments, length, breadth and height. I am giving the values 1, 2, 3. L will assign for L, 2 will assign for B, 3 will assign for H, 5 will assign for S, and 4.5 will assign for R. Now I am closing the main method and I close the class. So see here, all functions having the same name but different arguments, so that is called function overloading. Now I am going to compile this program. I have no syntax errors. Now I am going to compile the main method. I am executing the main method. Click OK. See here, this is my output. 125 for volume of cube, and volume of sphere is 273.375, and volume of cuboid is 6. So this is the example program for function overloading. So in this lesson you learned 6 topics. Now we completed the rest of 3 topics, so this lesson is over. Now see the recapitulation questions. The first one is, what is pure method? Explain with example. What is impure method? Explain with example. Differentiate between pure and impure method. Explain static and non-static methods. Differentiate between static and non-static methods. Write the example program for static and non-static method. What is function overloading? Explain with example. You have to copy down these question answers in your classwork, and you have to submit in this class code VUQQRJ4. This is our permanent computer classroom. Last week many of them submitted their homework on time. Really, I appreciate your hard work. In that assignment I gave one question. What is the output of the following? This is the question. The answer for this question is Julius, because first I am declaring the value for this particular variable name is Julius. I am going to print the value name. After I assigning the name into the function change, the name of the name is Julius. This name will store in the place nm. So nm already having aamna, amna. Nm change of name means it will change into Julius, because name is Julius. This name is assigned for nm. Now the nm amna became Julius. So after we did the change, the output is Julius. So both places the Julius will print. So this is output. I appreciate your good work. This week I am going to conduct one revision test because we completed lesson 3 and lesson 4. So before I get into the next lesson, I want to conduct one revision test. This revision test is a oral test. I am going to conduct this oral test in the Google Meet. So I tell the exact date and time in the WhatsApp group. You have to download the Google Meet application from the Play Store. I send the link, date and time in the WhatsApp group. So these are the questions I am going to ask in the oral test. Just you copy down in these questions in your classwork. Already copied means no problem. You can study and attend the oral test in the proper manner. All should present on the day for the oral test. This is a continuation of that oral test questions. So I gave the questions with the answer. So this is easy for you. Prepare yourself for the test. So that's all. Don't forget to submit your classwork in the class code UVQQRJ4. Thank you, children.